by the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. And despite all of that and all of the fallout from that, he has not blinked. He has not wavered. He has not taken one single step in a backwards direction. You all know who I'm talking about. You've come out here tonight to greet him, to show support for him, to demonstrate your love for Dr. Khallid Abdul Muhammad, Dr. Khallid. All right, brother.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, turn it up. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. We forever give thanks and praise to Almighty God for coming, as it was written in the sacred scriptures that He would come to seek and to save that which was lost. And we can find no other people fitting the description of the lost brother, the lost sister, or the lost sheep, except we, the 50 million or more, mentally and spiritually dead black men and black women here in the hells of North America. And so we thank Him for coming in the person of Master Farad Muhammad and for raising up His messenger and His Messiah to the black man and black woman here in the hells of North America and throughout the world. I speak of none other than the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And in the name of the man who is my spiritual father, who is my teacher, and who has been my mentor, and who is responsible largely for my spiritual rites of passage, I speak of none other than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In their names, I greet you with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Shalom. Share Lafia Ni. And black laws for all black people. Free the land. And for others, what's up? It is indeed my honor to be black again at this great forum of the United African Movement, spearheaded by the dynamic and divine leadership of one who is tireless and relentless in our midst, and one who is well acquainted with controversy, well acquainted with adversity, well acquainted with injustice, well acquainted with the oppression and the attempted repression of the enemy, but one who will not bow down and will not be bought, Attorney Alton Maddox. My subject this evening, I will cover many topics under this subject, but with us standing on the threshold of the national election. It was 30 years ago that Minister Malcolm X, the great and dynamic national spokesman for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in his message to the grassroots, he spoke to the grassroots of our people. And tonight I want to speak to the grassroots, to those who are in the dirt, those who are in the muck and the mire and the mud of the white man's world. 30 years ago, Malcolm said it was a case of the chickens coming home to roost. And tonight, I want to tell you that 30 years later, it's a case of the chickens coming home to roast. Malcolm's subject 30 years ago on the threshold of a national election was the ballot or the bullet. And my subject 30 years later on the threshold of a national election is the bullet or the bullet. That's my subject here tonight. The bullet or the bullet. You don't have no other choice. Some of you are waiting around. You were glued to the television screen watching these two no-good crackers debate just a few nights ago. And you are trying to make up your mind which peck of wood you're going to vote for. This is the year of the bullet or the bullet. You don't have no choice. One cracker named Bill Clinton, nicknamed Slick Willie. Would you buy a used car from a cracker named Slick Willie? An adulterer. Huh? Doesn't even live up to the standards of his own nation. A draft dodger. A dope head. A cracker who gets high and then wants to fool you and hoodwink you and tell you, I didn't inhale. A dope head, an adulterer, and one who doesn't even follow the standards of his own people, a draft dodger. Slick Willie lied to you 4 years ago, still lying to you 4 years later. And another cracker, an old wrinkled, crippled, crazy cracker. Cracker with a funny hand, shaking people's hand with his left hand. And you talking about voting for this cracker, some of you for president, and the damn Peckerwood can't even stay on the stage. The cracker fell off the goddamn stage. Fell out in the audience. Can you imagine you're supposed to get off of Air Force One and salute the Marine Corps and salute the honor guard when you step off the plane? Now, what will this cracker do with this funny hand? What is he going to do? Get off the plane and try to throw up a salute with that funny hand? Some of you say, why be so personal? Why not attack the man's policy? Why not attack the platform that the man stands on? Don't deal with the man's personal life. Don't deal with him. Deal with this policy. Well, I'm a military scientist. And in military science and military strategy, you don't just attack the tank, you attack the fueling depot that the tank depends on. You don't just attack the train, you attack the track that the train runs on. You don't just try to deal with the cracker once the bomber plane is in the air. You attack that which is responsible for giving the plane what is necessary in its power and energy to lift up off the ground. And so I attack the cracker too, and his policy. You talking about civil rights. Ain't no damn civil rights. The cracker ain't never been civil and he ain't never been right. You talking about Well, what about human rights? The cracker ain't human and he ain't never been right. It's the year of the bullet or the bullet. You either deal or die. You either fight back or get destroyed. You either get on the right side or it's genocide. It's the year of the bullet or the bullet. You've been voting for crackers ever since they allowed you to vote. And tonight we want to cover some of the history here. The history teaches us that from 1870 to 1901, blacks served in the various states as congressmen and sat in every Congress from the 41st to the 56th, with one exception. Says they were brilliant men. They were great orators. In fact, during the period of Reconstruction, we were mayors, we were sheriffs, we were senators, we were congressmen, and even B.K. Bruce was in the Treasury Department, and his signature was on all paper money in America. No matter how racist a cracker was, a big pot-belly, beer-billy, snuff-dipping, tobacco-chewing, straw-chewing, overall-wearing Peckerwood, no matter how much he hated niggers, he had to handle currency and money that had the signature of a black man in the Treasury Department on it. What is my point? During Reconstruction, it looked like a period of political prosperity. It looked like we were going to make it. As the historians say, we had good jobs working for ourselves. Many of us had good farmland. We were making what was called good money, and we were in high positions. But when the white man decided that he was through with niggers being in political office, then no matter how many elected positions we had, no matter how much money we had, no matter how much land we had, no matter what we had, the white man stood in the door of Congress, and they were armed in the door of Congress, and they said, no more nigger senators coming through these doors. They went to the floor of the Senate and the Congress and stood in the door armed to make sure that we didn't enter those what they call portals of the government of the United States of America. They went to the sheriff's office. Crackers stood armed, shotguns, pistols, big beer belly Peckerwoods, standing outside. And the black sheriff showed up at the sheriff's office. He was elected by the people. But when the black sheriff showed up at the sheriff's office, crackers armed and cocked their guns on him, and all you could hear was the staccato of the cocking of their weapons on him, saying, nigga, you not the sheriff no more. We got a new sheriff in town. Big Bubba here. Big Bubba's the sheriff, not nigga. He said, but I was duly elected by the people. They said, nigga, you better get on away from here, nigga. Or Big Bubba here gonna arrest you, nigga. You ain't the sheriff here no more, nigga. We taking the law back into our own hands, nigga. It looked like a period of political prosperity. Civil Rights Act, Voter Rights Act, Johnson sitting down penning the Civil Rights Act of 1964. If the Civil Rights Act was worth what was written on the paper, then Martin Luther King and those who would come after him would not have to fight so hard if it had meant anything. If the Voting Rights Bill had meant anything during Reconstruction, then Fannie Lou Hamer and others wouldn't have had to fight so hard coming behind the Voting Rights Bill. What am I saying here tonight? I'm taking an unpopular position, which is not new for me. I'm saying that separation is the best and only solution. I'm saying, as a reminder to you, that we must have a nation of our own. Because every time we vote together in a solid block, I know what Malcolm said to you 30 years ago. And all the great that Malcolm did, Malcolm was feeling, Malcolm was studying and searching and digging and researching and finding himself. And so Malcolm said, in such matters, vote in a solid block. He talked about the Democrat and the Dixiecrat. He talked about, stop talking about the South, he said. Anytime you south of the Canadian border, Malcolm said, you in the South. Malcolm said it's no democracy, nothing but disguised hypocrisy. No American dream, nothing but an American nightmare. The Supreme Court has passed down new rulings now in various states across the country, striking down what is called majority-minority voting districts. Striking down majority-minority voting districts. What does that mean? It means a district that has a great population of black people who have gone out and registered to vote and who believe that they have real power because they've registered to vote. Let me stop for a minute. I am proud to say that I am not registered to vote. I have never voted. And when a strong black candidate comes along, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit tonight, a black candidate who is not afraid of the white man, a black candidate who comes in the mold of Adam Clayton Powell Jr., a black candidate who has sat at the feet of Adam Clayton Powell Jr. If a bold black candidate comes along, then the most honorable Elijah Muhammad says such candidates should have the total backing of the black nation, that all of us should get behind such a candidate as that. But to get behind some glorified shower curtains and pull a lever for one cracker over another cracker, another Pinocchio-eared cracker named Perot. Here's a cracker that has lied so much his nose won't grow, his damn ears grow. Who are the candidates? Satan, the devil, Lucifer, and with Buchanan running, Buchanan, that's who he is, Satan, the devil, Lucifer, and Beelzebub. And either one you vote for, you're going to still end up catching hell. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad never told us to vote for a white man. He said we should find the right qualifications in a black candidate. One again who is not afraid of the white man, and who will stand up for reparations, and who will stand up for the freedom and independence of our people, and will not back down from the white man. Got Negroes in this town talking about backing the white man over a black man. A black man who anytime you're in trouble, sometimes he's there before the police get there. Sometimes there before the ambulance gets there. But you got a Negro in this town named Butts. You should know you can't trust a nigga named Butts. How you gonna trust a nigga named Butts? That's our problem now. We've been sitting on our butts too long. If my name was Butts, I would go out tonight and change my name overnight. How you gonna get respect telling people that your name is Butts? And then you take a behind position every time an issue comes up. Negro ran out and attacked the rappers. Let me put the bullet on hold for a moment. Went out and attacked the rappers. He didn't know Tupac Shakur. You don't know Snoop Doggy Dogg. You don't know Biggie Smalls. You don't know Sean Puffy Combs. You don't know them butts. While you sitting on your butt, afraid to come into the community and deal with the grassroots of your people, a whole generation has come up around you. Let's talk about the rappers for a minute. Can we talk about the rappers for a moment? Let's talk about Tupac Shakur for a moment. Tupac Shakur is a child of the 60s. Tupac Shakur, born out of the spirit of the revolution of the 60s. Tupac Shakur, fire in his bones, boldness and rebellion in his blood. Born from his beautiful, bold Black Panther mama, Afeni, sitting in the jail cell, a revolutionary woman carrying the fruit of life, mocking the child in her womb, mocking the child with rebellion, mocking the child with insurrection, mocking the child with a spirit to not go along with what's been going on. When you got a generation like that, you've got to work with them. You've got to mold them and shape them and fashion them. They represent the best generation we've ever produced. They're mad. They're angry. White man say, wear your cap, turn this way. They turn theirs around. He say he wearing his pants up, they wear theirs down. Whatever he says do, they do the opposite. Rebellious. Sick and tired of what's been going on in the hells of North America. And so they rap lyrics that speak to the pain and the suffering and the low down life of the black man and woman. They speak to our condition at the grassroots level, in the muck, in the mire, and in the mud. Not to just be attacked. If you sit and if you stand in the pulpit that Adam Clayton Powell Jr. stood in, Adam Clayton Powell characterized himself in his words as the baddest nigger in Congress. The baddest nigger in Congress. That's what he said. He said, keep the faith, baby. Don't panic. Tupac said the same thing. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. But for butts and a few other butt-licking, boot-licking, buck-dancing niggas, somebody has to call these niggas out. But some of you are so connected to them, or you want something from them, or you want favor from them, or you want to be recognized by them. If you don't stand up for the liberation of our people, then to hell with any nigga. I don't care who he is or where he is, to hell with him if he won't stand up for the liberation of our people. If we touch the hearts and minds of the rappers, they could create a revolution overnight. Overnight. Literally overnight. But to attack them and put them down, talking about the language that they use, when you're acting like what they're talking about. But to the youth who are under the sound of my voice, you too have a responsibility. You do have a responsibility to wake up, clean up, and stand up. And give liberation lyrics to our people that will uplift them and not degrade them and put them down. Because if we follow the same filth of the white man's world, then our world will go down under the weight of filth and corruption the same way the white man's world is going down. And so to our young brothers and sisters, don't try to pattern your life. You're criticizing the butts and the other toms. But at the same time, you're trying to be like the Italian gangsters. You gangster rap. You dress like Al Capone. You dress like some other cracker, some Jew gangster, some Italian gangster. You're not a gangster. You are the very people of God, trying to look like some damn criminal from Italy, some mafioso, some Italiano boy. Look like fools on TV, dressed up in all of this mess. You diss black designers. You don't want to wear the clothes from your black designers. You wearing Tommy Hill nigga. You wearing polo because you've been so damn poor and you've been living so damn low until you don't want to do nothing to pick yourself up and do something for yourself and give proper direction and guidance to the masses of your people who yearn to breathe free. This is the year of the bullet or the bullet. You ain't got a whole lot of more years to keep going over and over, round and round with this same thing, trying to decide on which peck of wood is going to be the lesser of two evils. I talked to a Muslim brother today from the Nation of Islam who was telling me that he was going to vote for Clinton. He said Clinton was the lesser of the two evils. Said he voted for Cuomo because he was the lesser of two evils of Pataki. I said, brother, you ain't got to vote for either one of them. What happened to the days of freedom and independence? What about a nation of our own? What about the call of black nationalism? What about the spirit when we were pushing to build for ourselves? You don't even dream like that anymore. Muslim talking about voting for some cracker. You gonna put some agenda before some cracker and decide which one is gonna do the most for black people. Come on. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said on this subject, and it should be guidance for us. He said, put the Muslim program before Congress. It is difficult for me. It is what? It's what? It is difficult for me to advise my followers on taking part in the corrupt politics of our enemies, who are in complete control of the political affairs. Who are in complete control of the political affairs. Did he say they were partially in control? He said they were in complete control. That's why when you say we're going to vote in a solid block and they see you have some black voting power, then from the highest court in the white land, the Supreme Court, as I mentioned earlier, they send down a law or a decree that says we got to bust up this solid block voting. Can't send your own candidate who will represent your own interests and who will speak to your own needs and work for you. They bust up those districts. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the white man is in complete control of the political affairs. There are 100 senators in America. Is that right? How many of them do we have? One, and she's questionable. Carol Mosley Braun. She's one of the Negroes that voted against me in the Senate. And a whole bunch of Negroes in the Congress. That Maxine Waters stood up tall and strong. I saw her. I saw her at a black festival in California, and she ran to me and hugged me. She said, "You're getting on up there now when you got them talking about you all up in Congress and everywhere." She said, "You didn't think I was going to vote against you, did you?" She didn't vote against me. I listened to that black woman dealing with them crackers on television last night about the CIA dumping this dope in the black community. Maxine Waters stood up toe-to-toe with them crackers. In fact, after a moment, she put the House of Representatives stuff to the side. She said, "You lying." Just told the cracker straight up. She didn't say, "I want to tell the gentleman from Illinois or the gentleman from Maryland that he's prevaricating." She said, "You lying." Straight up. Said it more than once. I said, "Now this sister's all right. She represents South Central. You need a representative like Maxine Waters who will go and face these crackers and deal with these crackers." I heard Reverend Sharpton is running for mayor. How in the hell could you vote for a cracker if Reverend Sharpton is running for mayor? You're out of your goddamn mind. You had another Negro right here in Brooklyn, supposed to be a black nationalist, Sonny Carson. See, you Negroes scared. The ones who said that. Got all on the radio. Said he's going to Reverend Sharpton's house if he runs. Like he gonna protest in the man's yard. And he didn't want Reverend Sharpton to run for mayor. What kind of Negro is that? He said, "Well, we got some problems with Reverend Sharpton." Nigga, you ain't got no problems with Giuliani? You see, I ain't connected to none of you. I want to be connected to all of you. But my stand is a principled stand. If you stand firm and right, I'm with you. If you were against Sharpton running for mayor, if you have something against Sharpton running for mayor, then you should have just kept your damn mouth shut and stayed on the sideline some damn way. Now, if he was running against some black candidates, and you felt that the black candidates were better candidates, one of them was better than Sharpton, Reverend Sharpton, I can understand that. But as far as I know, the field is full of crackers. And public enemy number one is Giuliani. Or put niggas behind bars, in the electric chair, in the gas chamber, lethal injection, state prosecutor Peckerwood. Giuliani, you're not for Sharpton. Keep your damn mouth shut. White folks look at you like a damn fool. They laugh at you. They think that something is wrong with you. If you're not for the only black candidate that's running, just be quiet, sissy. Vanglorious. Put the Muslim program of reparations and separation before Congress. He says there are many black men and women who make splendid politicians they could accomplish considerable good if they, like the white politician and his people, were given proper and equal recognition and justice for themselves and their people. If our politicians are to serve us, they must have no fear of the white man when they plead our case in the white courts before white judges. The strongest politician of our kind at that time, or the person who comes nearest, as far as I know, to giving us political justice in the white courts, if he had our complete backing, is Congressman Adam Clayton Powell Jr. This is a message to the black man by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Though he is not a Muslim politician is what you need. Let's stop for a moment. It's got to be the right Muslim politician. You don't want no Muslim politician that's going to get in there buck dancing, shuffling and scratching. They got Muslim politicians all over America today. Shuffling and scratching and bootlicking and buck dancing. Thank you, baby. With the white man. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad meant a real Muslim. He meant a righteous Muslim. It's a shame we have to qualify Muslim. Muslim is supposed to mean all of that anyway. But this devil got a lot of power. But Congressman Powell is not afraid and would not be easily bribed, for he is not hungry. There are two other good politicians, but I will not mention them by name at this time. If they could shed their fear, Honorable Elijah Muhammad said they were scared, whoever they were, they would make excellent political leaders to guard our interests. We must give good black politicians the total backing of our population. Did he say good white politicians? Why can't you trust a so-called good white politician? You see, there are no good white folks and bad white folks. It's just two kinds of white folks. Bad white folks and worse white folks. That's the only two kinds of white folks you can find anywhere. He said, we must give good black politicians the total backing of our population. Your program, the one I've given you, which is carried in the first part of this chapter, should be put before Congress. The Civil Rights Bill and integration will not stand and can never bring independence to you and your people, no matter who is president. Black or white, the Civil Rights Bill and integration, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, could never bring us freedom and independence. Don't make no difference who the candidate is, again, black nor white. It could never bring us freedom and independence. So today we have to look for good black candidates. I've never voted, but if the right candidate comes along, I'll swing my support behind that candidate, even though I don't believe in the political process of the white man at all. I don't care whether you like me for that or not. The politics of the white man is insipid. The politics of the white man is rotten to the core. The politics of the white man could never solve our problem. It's like a poison white cake. You can put black chocolate icing on top of the poison white cake, but it's still poisoned down to the smallest morsel, and it was baked in the oven of the White House for white folks, in a government of white people, by white people, and for white people. White man never intended for his nigger to be no political power over him. Every time you position yourself, he will change the rules on you. Every time you look like you maneuvering in place, We got affirmative action, you say. We got food stamps, you say. We got entitlements, you say. Some of you turned into big niggas smoking big cigars because your big nigga company made you walk around over the rest of your people, looking down at them, condescending, because you had Section 8 set aside. Then they put a nigga up on the Supreme Court to vote with the white folk. Nigga named Clarence Thomas. You know that Negro. Married to that big old dinosaur looking white woman. Go home to that white woman and look like Jurassic Park. Nigga got to get up in a stepladder just to get some sugar from that big pack of wood. Why do you do that? Marry the biggest pack of wood you can find. That's a big old white woman. Clarence Thomas have to hug that white woman on one side and then run around and hug her on the other side. She probably whips Clarence at home. Clarence, you come in here, Clarence. Put him on the Supreme Court. Made him a Supreme Court nigga. Look at it. Now whites are blaming us for the condition of America. All of this happened in Reconstruction. Mel Reynolds is gone. They moved on Arrington down in Alabama. Judge Haste, Perrin Mitchell, Marion Barry. He said, they set me up. He said, the bee set me up. They say, Mr. Mayor, would you place both hands on the wall, Mr. Mayor? You're under arrest, Mr. Mayor. You have a right to remain silent, and anything that you say, Mr. Mayor, can be held against you. She set me up. They accused Mel Reynolds in District 2 in Illinois of having sex, a form of statutory rape. Is that right, counsel? With a young girl who says that they really only had phone sex. Hey, I don't know what the age is on phone sex now. I mean, that's out of the statutory rape category. That's out of the condom category. That's out of AIDS category. That's out of HIV category. Phone sex. I mean, that's some serious stuff. But in order to get Mel Reynolds, they arrested the young girl to force her to testify against him. They entrapped him, put her on the telephone, and made her talk sweet talk to him on the phone and talk about bringing somebody else for him to get with on the phone with the devil listening. The devil was listening. The white man is the devil. In case you forgot, you haven't heard anybody say it in a long time. You ain't heard nobody say it in a long time. The white man is the devil. I say it every day. I say it every day like a religious catechism, so that I can remember to remember, just so I won't forget. I say it like a mantra. I say it when I'm brushing my teeth and gargling my mouth on a white as a devil. Early in the morning, I say it as a part of my meditation. I open up my prayers. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. I seek refuge in Allah. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed devil, the white man. Damn it, it was a devil that killed Brother Anthony Baez. God damn it, it was a devil that shot our brother down on the streets of Brooklyn, shot him 24 times. It was devils who killed Brother Yusuf Hawkins. It was devils who were responsible for Eleanor Bumpers. It's devils who killed Jerry Lee Amy and Eula May Love. It was devils who brought you here on the slave ships to the hells of North America. You better remind yourself every day. They moved on Mel Reynolds. They moved on all of them. Look what they did in Clinton's Congress. They moved on all of Clinton's people. Did you know that? Clinton had 5 so-called minority appointees. We ain't no minority. We outnumbered this Peckerwood 12-1 on the face of the planet Earth. But he had 12 so-called minority appointments. The Clinton administration had these 5. Michael Epps, the black former Secretary of Agriculture, gone. Huh? Ron Brown, Secretary of Commerce. They killed him, but before they killed him, they charged him with misconduct from his office of the Department of Commerce. Huh? Energy Secretary. Huh? Hazel O'Leary. Huh? And a couple of others. What happened during Reconstruction? White folks became angry. The white male. They're talking about an angry white male today. And so the white man's ego got involved. He blocked the entrance. Bishop Henry McNeil Turner down in Georgia. Bishop Henry McNeil Turner of the AME Church. Policemen lined up in front of the door of Congress and would not let Bishop Henry McNeil Turner go in. And he had been duly elected by the people. We were even governor. Pinchback became governor of Louisiana. But every position we held, the cracker rolled back the hands of the clock. In the twinkling of an eye, when he got ready, he said, no more of this foolishness. A nigger ain't to rule over me. A nigger is not to be a sheriff over me. Nigger sheriffs arresting white folks? Hell no, he said. Give me that badge, nigger, and get back in a nigger's place. Some of you who are undercover agents sitting in the audience, your job is temporary. And if you continue this, your life is temporary. Over a short period of time. Temporary over a short period of time. It's temporary anyway, but we mean over a short period of time. You come in among black people and spy on black people. Negro judge on the slave theater with no more better judgment than that. See his brother persecuted by the criminal justice system that he's been a judge of. He obviously didn't read Bruce Wright. He obviously didn't see what Alton Maddox was doing for black people. And so a Negro bootlicking judge who owned the slave theater, now it sits there with rats and roaches running all over the damn place. But because white folks put pressure on a nigger judge, the nigger judge padlocked the door and told the white folks, I took care of it, boss. I took care of it for you, boss. Did I do a good job, boss? I put him out, boss. Is I a good nigger, boss? They say, well, nigger, we got something else for you to do. White man knows he can't trust you. If your own people can't trust you, the white man knows he can't trust you. So your job is a temporary job. You come and sit in this audience and go and report back to the white man. We see you, nigga. We see you. Your wig is crooked. Your Jerry curl got too much juice in it. We see you. And as this nation gains freedom and independence, and as more and more of this revolutionary spirit rises up in the minds and hearts of the people, we will kill you for coming to betray the legitimate aspirations of our people. Oh, yes, we will. It's the year of the bullet or the bullet. But some of you are not willing to pay the price. You want to come here for years and just listen to great speakers and go home and listen to great tapes. But when it's time to move with the leadership, to buy your own land, to buy your own building, so that nobody can dictate whether a padlock is put on it ever again, then you don't step forward. But you cheer louder than anybody in the damn audience. You eat more bean pie on the outside. You buy more bean pie than anybody. You got all the tapes at home. You got a library of tapes. Dr. Ben said, Dr. Clark said, Dr. Akbar said, just a constipated Negro. Your brain is constipated. Your heart is backed up, afraid to stand up. There are enemies among us, and we must find them and get rid of them. It's a shame that Eugene Roberts still lives walking around New York after he's responsible for the murder and the assassination of Malcolm X. But Eugene Roberts is doing interviews on television. He's a goddamn celebrity. Dr. Felder on the front row with Gene Roberts' picture, exposing him. He does interviews now. He's a celebrity. An undercover agent in the OAAU of Malcolm X, seen in the Audubon Auditorium, pretending to give him artificial resuscitation. I'm just telling you what the people are telling me on the streets. The real radical ones. They saying that he should be dead. That's what they're saying. I ain't got nothing to do with it. That's what they say. William O'Neill with the Panther Party, the agent responsible for the murder of Fred Hampton and Mark Clark, the agent that drew up the floor plans, told them where Fred Hampton's bed was, that what angle they had to shoot in order to kill him while he was asleep, still walking the streets today because you just want to hear speakers. You just want to wear your African tikis and sandals and dashikis and boobas and crowned and gowned to the ground, and your red, your black, and your green. But when it comes time to stand up and strike a blow for freedom and independence, you ain't nowhere to be found. I got to say it. I got to say it. So during Reconstruction, white men got angry, and they moved on every black elected public official. And here we are, starting all over again. It says the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which resulted in a dramatic increase in the number of black elected officials at the federal, state, and local levels, that from 1965 to 1970, their number increased from 280 to 1,629. But as of 1993, the last year such figures were compiled, there were more than 8,000 black elected public officials. More than 8,000. But the condition of our people is terrible. More than 8,000 black elected public officials and black people are still in the mud and the filth and the squalor of the white man's world. Poor, ragged, naked, hungry, and out of doors in the white man's world. And over 8,000 black elected public officials. Jesse Jackson now. OG Tom. Old Tom. Raising up a new Tom. Got Jesse Jackson Jr. now. Grooming him to be the new Tom. Put him in District 2 in Mel Reynolds' place. Instead of standing up for Mel Reynolds, fighting for Mel Reynolds. You say, well, he did wrong, so look what they did with white folks who did the same thing. Some white folks did worse. It's important to understand, brothers and sisters, what we're dealing with here. Donald Buzz Luckins, an Ohio Republican, served 9 days of a 30-day jail term in 1991 for having sex with a 16-year-old black girl. He also was ordered to participate in a program for sex offenders. But the cracker said he argued that he could not have contributed to the delinquency of this child because she already was unruly, he said, when he had sex with her. Now this is a Republican from Ohio. 30 days in jail and put him in a program. Mel Reynolds, much more than that. Republican Daniel Crane admitted having a sexual affair with a congressional page. His punishment was censure by the House of Representatives. They just talk rough to him. Would the gentleman from Illinois refrain from this kind of conduct? It is not becoming of the high office of the gentleman from Illinois. That's all he got. He had sex at least 4 times with the page, according to a report by the special counsel to the House Ethics Committee. It started after he met the 17-year-old and gave her a 6-pack of beer and betted her on a basketball game. After he met her, he made a bet on a basketball game. And they had a 6-pack of beer. She lost. And he did what he wanted to do. Look at it now. The House Ethics Committee also voted to reprimand Representative Gary Studs for his sexual relationship with a male page. Boy, this boy was way out. Studs, a Massachusetts Democrat, remains in Congress today. The congressional report outlining charges against Studs said he took the page to his apartment in Washington's upper-class Georgetown neighborhood and plied the boy with vodka and cranberry juice until 4 a.m. I'm going to leave that alone. Later, the page went on a 2-week trip to Europe with Studs, who also made advances toward other male pages. Former Senator Brock Adams, a Democrat from Washington State, dropped his 1992 re-election bid after 9 women said he sexually harassed them Representative Barney Frank, a Massachusetts Democrat, remains a popular member of Congress despite his 1989 admission that he paid for homosexual sex earlier. He was officially reprimanded by Congress. Representative Ken Calvert, a California Republican, was easily re-elected 2 years ago, even though a state policeman found him with a prostitute in a car after midnight, and according to a police report, apparently engaging in sexual activity. Police did not charge Calvert with a crime and withheld information about the case until a newspaper sued them. Look at this. When the white folks do it, they let them go. Even the ones that do it with other boys, they let them go. So during Reconstruction, it was hype, exaggerated charges of corruption that caused them to create the kind of climate for the Night Riders, the Ku Klux Klan, and other disgruntled, rabid, racist crackers. You know what's happening now? You know the reason Baez is gone? You know the reason we're shot down 24 times, and the reason the chokehold is applied all across the country, and what's the boy's name? Can't we all just get along? Rodney King. It's because in the police department, the FBI, the CIA, ATF, if that's what they are, DEA, all of them, they are now the racist, rabid, racist, cold, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan of Reconstruction. All of them now hide behind the shield. As Mark Furman said in words, you can execute a nigger because a policeman is God on the streets, he said. He said when we just see a nigger doing this or that, he talked about how they move on what they call a nigger. Supreme Court Justice, as I near my conclusion, Thurgood Marshall said that the Ku Klux Klan no longer wears white hoods and white robes. They now wear black robes as judges and blue uniforms as policemen. The mentality is pervasive. The mentality is everywhere. Bill Clinton wants this conservative cracker to know that he's going to put niggas in their place. He just does it with a smile. Welfare reform. Fastly, in many states, welfare is becoming farewell. They're making sure to let us know you got to go for self. You got to do something for yourself. We can't carry you any longer, niggas. And so, brothers and sisters, as I near my conclusion, I say to you that this is the year of the bullet or the bullet. No other people in history have gained their freedom and independence by marching to freedom, having a sit-in to freedom, a boycott, a vote in. Everybody had to do some fighting, killing, bleeding, and dying in order to be free. We're not going to vote our way to freedom. Remember again, every time it looks like you're making momentum, he'll change the rules again. And you'll be like the carrot with the carrot and the stick principle. Every time you inch closer, he'll move it away. You inch closer, he'll move it away. We must stand up and pen our Declaration of Independence. It's the only thing left for us to do. We tried everything else, and nothing has worked for us. Everything has failed us. We've known that the CIA and the government planes were moving drugs for a long time. We talked about the problem not being with the crack, but the problem being with the cracker. And we reiterate, the problem is not with the crack. The problem is with the cracker. Ollie North, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, they move drugs on a daily and consistent basis, and the primary target is the black community. War is coming in this country on an escalated scale, where the color of our skin will be our uniform. Nerve gas shipments are being made across this country. Concentration camps and internment camps are being reactivated all across this country. War is coming. If our community is not all that we want it to be, and it is racked with drugs and police brutality and oppression, that means we're at war. It won't stop, black man, until you stand up. It won't stop because we come here and recite some statistics and cheer. It'll stop when there are black men who are willing to go out and face the crackers on the streets. And when you beat down a brother, you got to face other brothers who will deal with the cracker in the streets. Oh, that's radical, you say. But we got to fight this cracker. We got to be willing to face this cracker in the streets. I'm trying to look in as many of the faces of the men in this audience that I can. We've got to organize. We've got to unite. We've got to build a black liberation army. You talking about free Mumia? Free Geronimo Pratt? Free Mumia? They'll never be free until Sekou Odinga, Mutula Shakur, Ruchell McGee, and many others, the Africa family. They'll never be free until we form a black liberation army that will go and free them. No marching is going to cause the white man to open up the doors. But in the meantime, we fight in the courthouse. Those who fight there. Those of you who believe in the vote, you cast your vote. And we get whatever we can get from that. And you give it all that you've got. Malcolm said, by any means necessary. And so every one of us that's fighting on a particular battlefield, fight with everything you've got on that battlefield. And those who are fighting in another way, who believe that it must ultimately come to direct confrontation with the enemy, we must fight also. That's what I mean to say to the young rappers. Why just die over nothing? Die because instead of dying for a cause or the cause. You're getting shot up for nothing? Let's go up against this cracker. If you that tough, if you that bad, if you that hard, how come you don't have no drive-by at the police station? I never heard of it. Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and bust on the police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it. You say you're a gangster. You say you got your gat. You say rat-a-tat-tat. tat. But you don't bust on no crackers. You just kill yourself. Because you're really not a gangster. You're not a gangster, you're a punk. East Coast, West Coast. Cracker is our enemy on the East Coast. The cracker is our enemy on the West Coast. The cracker is our enemy in the South. The cracker is our enemy everywhere. East Coast, West Coast. If you're bad, let's organize and fight this cracker. I'll be with you. God damn it, if you got the heart, I'll lead. But I can't join in a lot of this other stuff. I had a captain who once taught me, Captain Ali Rashid. His famous words were, hold a line. He used to always say, hold a line, man. He'd talk to us. He said, hold a line. You got to hold a line, man. That's what I intend to do. You can go buck wild with all this foolishness and all of this that we've tried over and over again, and it has failed, but I'm going to hold a line. I'm going to hold a line. I'm going to maintain this course and maintain this position. I met with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan 3 nights ago. Well, it was Wednesday night. Last Wednesday night it was. It was a week ago. Last Wednesday night. In one case, it was by divine design. In another case, it was by accident. We both attended a funeral in Chicago. And I wasn't sure that he would be there, and he did not know that I would be there. And so we met over the body of our brother Amir Muhammad, one of the greats in the Nation of Islam. And later we had dinner at the palace. And we talked briefly. And I was able to ask him many of the questions that I have wanted to ask him for a long, long time. He was on Fox a few days ago, and he spoke of our meeting. And we're supposed to meet again on the day before the 16th. We're supposed to meet on the day of the 15th, sometimes during the day. He did not answer my questions last Wednesday night, but he said that he will answer them at our next meeting. I asked him every question I had on my heart. I questioned everything that was questionable to me in a manner that a son should question his father. And I look forward to getting the answers. This weekend I will be in Oakland at the 30th anniversary celebration of the founding of the Black Panther Party. And I was there this past weekend and met with many members of the Black Panther Party and Brother Aaron Michaels from Dallas, Texas, the new Black Panther Party, and I will be going back in. I'm still a member of the Nation of Islam, and that is my foundation. But since I do not have a position or a post nor anything by way of assignment to do in the Nation of Islam, I must fight anyway. And so I've been working with the Black Panther Party. I've been working with the Crips and the Bloods and organizing them into revolutionaries. And I want to help with the rebuilding of the Black Panther Party, but this time from a more black nationalist perspective. And from the balance of the black Muslims and the Black Panther Party, I believe that that's a good foundation to operate from. Still a member of the United African Movement, and those young black men and other black men who are just coming through tonight to visit or just to hear me, that you heard that I would be here tonight, I really would like to get your numbers and give you mine. It's time to organize. When you come through here, you get such heavy knowledge. You get such the benefit, in some cases, of decades and years of research from some of the greatest minds among our people. And once you get that, it's time to do something. I want to organize a disciplined cadre, an army of black men, yes, black women too, but primarily black men right now. How many of you are interested? Let me just see your hand. Let me just see your hands if you're interested. If you're interested. All right. Don't be scared. I don't think we'll have to go out and kill no white folks tonight. But we might. I believe in self-defense. I believe in self-defense. And since we are dying at such an alarming rate, being killed at such an alarming rate, we have no other alternative except to unite and to defend ourselves. That is my position and that is my stand. And to whatever degree my spiritual father will allow me to work with the Nation of Islam, I will do that. And at the same time work as co-chairman in helping to rebuild the new Black Panther Party. So I wanted to make that announcement here tonight, and I always want to take at least a minute before we close out to take any questions from the audience that you might have. Are there any questions? Brothers or sisters, here's one question here, two questions. Is that it? We have two questions? 3, 4. Brother's question. Walaikum salam, sir. The brother says, my subject is the bullet or the bullet. And if it comes to that, it's already past that. But if it comes to that, he says, where are we going to get bullets? He said, we don't manufacture no bullets. Where are we going to get bullets? My brother, I respect your question. But I must say to you, when I hear a question like that, it is a question that is from a position of lack of confidence. It is almost from a position of weakness. It is true the white man makes the guns and he makes the bullets. And it is equally as true that my subject, the bullet or the bullet, didn't just deal with a physical bullet, but it dealt with standing up, fighting on all fronts, as I said, and not depending so much on the old things that have already failed us. So the bullet or the bullet in one sense was a metaphor, but in another sense it was literal. We can always get bullets, brother. We can always get guns, even if it's from the body of our enemy. There's so many guns, I don't have to go out and tell black people to arm themselves. Black people are already armed. I just get sick of these Negroes, Reverend James Bevel and some of these other Negroes running around the country talking about turn in your gun for a Bible or a Holy Quran. Now what young brothers are going to come in and give their gun up for a Holy Quran or give their gun up for a Bible? Some of these other sick Negroes telling black people to turn in their guns for some Power Ranger tickets. Turn in your guns so you can go see the Knicks play. Are you serious? I don't have to tell black people to arm themselves. the black people's nature and the God of nature. And the first law of nature dealing with self-defense and self-preservation under these conditions will dictate to you what is necessary. But let's go even further. It is not the gun in and of itself that wins the war. The French white man, the British white man, and the American white man fought the Viet Cong. Little people, some of them not even 5 feet tall. Huh? They didn't have any great airplanes, great tanks, great jets, great bullets, great guns and artillery, but they had the determination to be free. And so when the French white man went in with all of his armory and his guns and his manufacturing of all of that, they beat the hell out of the French white man and drove him out in shame and disgrace. When the English white man went in, they beat the hell out of him and drove him out in disgrace. And when the American white man went in, he tried to bomb them back into the Stone Age. And so they built underground cities, underground tunnels. He dropped tons and tons of napalm and bombs on them on a daily and a nightly and a consistent basis. And they built underground cities. They got off the top of the ground and went underground. They had a determination to be free. They cut crackers' throats with the metal from crashed airplanes. They took the cracker's own weapons and killed him with his own weapon, the way David took Goliath's sword and cut Goliath's head off with his own sword. They terrorized crackers. They had crackers scared to death. They built and made all kinds of traps and contraptions that created psychological fear and terror in the mind of the cracker. This cracker is a punk. This cracker is a sissy. This cracker bombs black churches and kills black babies and attacks unarmed, handcuffed black men and women. What would this cracker do if you stood up and fought this cracker? If you stood up and fought this cracker, yes, we'll lose some lives. Damn it, I might be the first to die, but so what? It's the price of freedom. You just want to quote freedom. You just want to talk revolution, but you don't want to walk the walk when it's time to walk the walk. Look at it. Amilcar Cabral in Guinea-Bissau. He said, well, our people don't have the weapons of the European oppressor. He said, but our will and our determination to be free will make us free. And so they fought the cracker, the European. And Amilcar Cabral was able to gain freedom and independence in Guinea-Bissau. Read Frantz Fanon's Wretched of the Earth. Read of revolutionary struggle all over the earth. Read Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah's revolutionary warfare. Read, study other wars. I hate to hear a black man say, well, we outnumbered. He got more guns than we got. Oh, black woman, you in trouble when you got a black man talking like that. You mean to tell me that your woman is in a house being raped by 20 men and they got 20 guns and you ain't got but one gun, and you gonna just go and cry and leave her in there being abused and misused and say, they got more guns than I got. I can't go in there. If you got a man like that, God damn it, you ain't got no man. You might as well get rid of him. You ain't got no man. A real man has got to face it. A real man has got to determine the strategy for going in there and getting his woman out and taking some of the enemy out. That's a real man. And if it comes down to it, a real man is willing to give his life for his women and his children and his people and his nation. If necessary, a real man, if it comes down to it and he can't get out, it's the nature of revolution. A real man is willing to blow up the whole goddamn house and say, you got her, I love her, but all of you will die. You won't do another black woman like that. There's a price for revolution. What will you do to be free? That's the question. Malcolm used to say, you want to know when you'll get free? He said, you'll get free when you let your enemy know that you're willing to do anything to be free. You're willing to do anything to be free. If your enemy can judge how far you'll go, if your enemy can set up the terms of war from the Hague, from the United Nations, Malcolm said, take your case before a world court. That world court is controlled by the white man. One white woman, one white man, Albright, Fulbright, whatever the cracker's name is, can go and cast one veto vote and strike down everything that came up. One white woman. What's the other terms of international war, this conference and that conference? You can't let your cracker determine for you war. So my brother, I know we're outnumbered, but I don't understand. Are we saying don't fight because he got more guns than us? Are we saying we can't fight because he'll kill us? He's killing us anyway. At least fight back. You can't just die. Yes, sir. So what brother Dr. Felder is saying, we can win. When the Mau Maus rose up under Jomo Kenyatta, they cut up glass and put it in the food, poison in the food. They did everything that was necessary to gain freedom and independence. But as a man, as a woman, you can't just die. Well, we can't do nothing. Yes, ma'am. I'm coming to the back. Education would help a little bit, but he'll shoot a PhD the same as he would one that didn't graduate from school. He'll shoot a PhD, or a black man or a black woman with 2 PhDs the same way he would one with a GED. He'll shoot me in my mouth. They tried to kill me before. I know I speak well, but that's by Allah's grace. But my point is, sister, yes, education is key. It's important. We must be wise. Look, Dr. Felder stood up. He's talking about strategy. He's talking about military science. And he's talking about all of the different facets of the art of war. That's a form of education or knowledge. Or I understand your point. But we don't want to believe that voting will get us out of this condition. And then all of us go on a big voting trip. Economics will get us out of this condition, and we all go and get a bunch of greenbacks. I went to Reverend Ike's church, and I like a lot of what Reverend Ike teaches, and I went over there, and the people over there were saying they're not black. They say they green because it's a money orientation. So they say they green. So green power won't get us out of this condition. Voting power won't get us out of this condition. Education power won't get us out of this condition. He's not going to say, I'm just killing the school dropout niggas today. I'm not killing PhD niggas today. He's not going to even ask, do we have a PhD? Or MS degree, or BS degree, or whatever. But there is a place for what you are saying. Are there other hands? Yes, sir. That's right. Sister says she likes that. Let's give both a hand because they are key points. They are key points. The only difference in us, my brother, and the Japanese from a standpoint of war is that the Japanese knows that he's a Japanese. The Japanese speaks Japanese. The Japanese has Japanese heritage, Japanese legacy, Japanese culture, Japanese folkways, mores, and norms, Japanese holidays, and operating on Japanese land. We have been robbed of our names, our language, our religion, our culture, our God, our folkways, our mores, our norms, and we are 10,000 miles in some cases removed, 9,000 miles in other cases removed. So after having been robbed completely of a knowledge of self, it is difficult to move a people like that against an enemy when most of the time we're enemies to ourselves. The Japanese people never forgot Nagasaki and Hiroshima because it was just a few years ago. We're 100 years up from slavery, and many of our people are so busy trying to be white and trying to be American until we don't want to have nothing to do with it. So that's the difference. So back to both of your points, it's going to take psychological warfare. It will take what sister called education, and what you're calling gaining skills and gaining knowledge. It's a psychological warfare. What I'm doing up here tonight for these next few minutes, what I'm doing in some cases is shock treatment for some of you. You're saying, what? Fight this white man? And others of you, I'm putting it in your mind so that no matter what you do, you got to understand you're at war. No matter what you do, you're going to have to end up fighting before it's over. He's not going to let you just take this because you got some technological skills. You know the banking system. You trying to be a black Japanese banker. You say, nigga, no, it's not going to happen. A few more hands and we out of here. As my son would say, it will not work.